The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Morning Market Kickoff with your host, Tommy O'Brien. Now, Tommy O'Brien.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Tommy O'Brien, coming to you live from TFNN Friday morning, 8:30 a.m., 60 minutes to go until that opening bell. We're going to get non-farm payroll numbers just in a moment. That number coming out at 8:30 a.m. as I jump on the air. Pretty interesting day yesterday, ahead of a non-farm payroll number, especially heading into the long weekend. We'll see how the market reacts. Right now, we get the S&Ps negative by 8 points. We were higher overnight. Zooming in on the action overnight in the S&Ps. You're up as high as above 3480. So we've given up, folks, about 1% from where we were just at 6 in the morning. The last 2.5 hours, the market trading from 34.84. We're now down at 34.47. You could call it basically the low range that we were knocking around in since about 11 a.m. this morning. The flash low at 11 a.m., 34.52, within about a few points of that price level right now as we await 60 minutes to go until that opening bell. Jumping around to commodities, crude, now positive 9 cents at 41.44. You get the gold contract catching a bid. We're getting some volatility on the jobless claims number right now. Non-farm payrolls. Okay, here we go. I got the number. We're looking at pretty close to expectations. We'll slide it over. The U.S. created 1.37 million jobs in August. The market was looking for 1.32. You got an unemployment rate at 8.4%. Not bad considering everything going on. August unemployment rate was expected to fall to 9.8%. So I wonder, there's a lot that goes on in these. Are people just jumping out of the workforce? Is that what's going on? Is that why the unemployment rate just dropped? Because if we're in line, 1.37, the market was looking for 1.32. But why was the unemployment rate expected to fall to 9.8 if it actually fell to 8.4 and we came pretty close to in line with how many jobs were created in the month of August? Nonetheless, you see the volatility in the gold contract on that news. Jumping over to notes and bonds, 10-year negative by 7 ticks right now at 139.18. You get the 30-year negative 31 ticks at 176.29. The S&Ps actually catching a little bit of a bid. Market going to like that 8.4% unemployment rate, it seems. S&Ps just jumping from 34.50. We're now at 34.63. As I mentioned, the highs overnight, you're looking at a high of about 34.85. What else we got going on? The 10-year yield right now, as we bounce around a bit, you're looking at 0.66% on that 10-year. In terms of markets overnight, you have the DAX down. DAX, Germany, down 0.4%. FTSE positive by 0.2. CAC Roll positive by 2 as well. Asia, negative on the overnight, kind of extending our losses that we had yesterday. The Nikkei down 1.1%. You had Shanghai down about 0.8, and the HSI down about 1.2%. All right, I'm going to start things off with a headline that I saw on CNBC yesterday that kind of made me say, what is going on? The headline was, and this is the end of the day yesterday, front page of CNBC. Okay, front page. I just took a screen capture. This is what they had up there. Their headline on the front page is tech-led sell-off is part of a healthy correction as it blows off some excessive speculation. Folks, what is that headline? I mean, you want to write an opinion piece like that? More power to you. Okay, there's no quotations. There's nothing. That is a headline on a supposed financial news website saying that the sell-off is part of a healthy correction as it blows off some excessive speculation. That is not a fact in any way. It's an opinion that does not belong on a headline on a news website on the front page. And the reason why I bring it up is because that's some scary stuff when you have the market. I mean, folks, the NQs yesterday traded down 900 points almost, from 12,400 to 11,582. There's nothing healthy about a market giving back 5-6%. You can make the opinion it had to do it, right? We've talked about it many times. I mean, even looking at the S&P, the amount of green bars, we'll put it on a daily, that this market has had, I've talked about it many times on the program. You go back to July 28th, folks, and we only had 4 red bars all the way through the month of August. All right, you're talking about maybe 22 green bars, 4 red bars. That's not usually how things go, okay? This pullback on the S&Ps, that only gets us back. We're trading right now at 34.58. For some context, we were trading there August 26th, okay? So not that long ago. The market didn't give back much, but just be aware and start writing headlines like that. I mean, there's nothing healthy. We have a presidential election about 60 days out, which is going to provide definitely some volatility and uncertainty. We have the unemployment rate still today at 8.4%, right? Weekly jobless claims are at 800 to 900,000. Pre-COVID, the biggest number we ever saw in the history of our country was 700,000, and we're now basically settling at 800,000 or 900,000 new claims filed every week. You have continuing claims. I think it was like 13 point something million continuing unemployment claims, and you have the market selling off out of nowhere ahead of non-farm payrolls this morning, ahead of a long weekend, to just write an article that says, hey, that was awesome, very healthy for the market to just sell, no buyers, sell. Yeah, you could say that, of course, the market's going to go down. You know, if you want to be a buyer, how do you find yourself a buyer when the S&Ps are at 3,600? You just traded from 3,200. You didn't even look back, right? You added 12% basically from where we were trading at for the month of August. I mean, look at that. We're trading at 3,200. You had almost 400 S&P points. 320 points would be 10%. So you're talking about 12, 13% from where we were trading at basically the month of August. You go from July 30th all the way through the month of August, accelerate higher. I get it, but that's not the type of headline you want to see in a strong market where we just start saying that even if we sell off 5%, that's actually good for the market. Not quite how it works. Jumping over to the VIX this morning. The VIX, talk about a little volatility yesterday. You go from 26 to almost 36. The market pulls back a bit overnight when we got some market highs under 32. Currently, right now, we're looking at an open in the VIX of about 33.23. All right, what else we got going on? Jumping around to some of, let's see. I wanted to see if we're getting numbers for those jobless claims yet. Not quite yet. I'm going to break it down. We'll break it down after the break. I like when they break it down. Where are the sectors, right? Where's the job growth? How did that play in? And why did we get an unemployment rate at 8.4% if they were looking for an unemployment rate much higher and non-farm payrolls came in pretty close? That means that either people are taking themselves out of the workforce that were looking for jobs as an unemployed person before. So we'll see how that breaks down. All right, checking out some of the equities that had earnings last night. So DocuSign out with their numbers. We'll jump into the actual numbers after the break, but talk about some volatility. Early in the week, you go from 220 up to 293, all on the optimism of the Zoom earnings, delivering in a big way. Come out with their earnings last night. The initial spike higher to 260, and just like that, we're down to 220. And check this out. We're right now within about $10 of the earnings on DocuSign. We also got Broadcom numbers, AVGO, after the bell last night. Broadcom, within $1 of where it closed at last night. Broadcom trades this week from 345 to 378. We come into the earnings at about 352, and we're trading at 352 right now on Broadcom. All right, jumping back to the S&Ps, this market pretty calm considering the numbers that we get. I mean, there's no more important data, folks, than the non-farm payroll number in terms of how many people are getting jobs back for the entire month of August. Number comes in right where we thought, about 1.3 million and some change, in the S&Ps minus 2 points right now at 34.59. Stay tuned, folks. We'll be right back.
Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
TFNN has launched our brand new website. You can still visit us at the same TFNN.com URL, but when you do, you'll see a new and improved homepage with a much simpler navigation, whether you're watching Tiger TV live in high definition or just accessing your newsletter subscriptions. We even have new pricing in 6 months and yearly options. Check out the new TFNN.com now and experience all the upgrades. TFNN.com, educating investors.
The gold market has taken off topside in a large way in 2020. If you want to take advantage of this sector, now is the time to subscribe to my Gold Report. The Gold Report took profits in 4 of its equities in the gold portfolio in the first week of January for a combined profit of 99.2%, with 2 positions left in the portfolio that have a profit of 67.5% as of January 7th. The Gold Report is a comprehensive look at the metals sector as well as the markets that move gold, which is the currency and bond markets. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. Every Monday morning, I publish the Gold Report with coverage of gold, silver, bonds, the XAU, HUI, GDX, as well as more than 30 different mining equities. To see for yourself the types of profitable trades that are recommended within the Gold Report, sign up now by visiting TFNN.com. Don't miss out on the next great gold trade. Sign up today.
Are China A shares hot or not? If you trade China A shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A Share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
Welcome back, folks. We got the S&Ps slipping into the positive right now, up 1 point at 3463. Technology, NASDAQ still in the negative by about 1%. NASDAQ off 123 points, 11,677. Dow up 145. The Russell up a solid 17 points, catching a little bit of a bid. And we'll jump over to some of the numbers in that non-farm payroll number. So the headline number, 1.37 million jobs added in August. The market was looking for about 1.32. Unemployment rate, 8.4, lowest we've had in a while. Unemployment rate was by far the lowest since the coronavirus shutdown in March. Economists were looking for 1.32, and the jobless rate to decline to 9.8%. This article doesn't do a good job of talking about this. How does the number of 1.32 come in? Pretty close to expectations, yet the unemployment rate they were looking for is 9.8 million. Nonetheless, government hiring, a big part of it, folks. Census workers. You had government hiring accounting for 344,000, and of that, census workers whose tolls increased by 328,000. Despite worries of a revenue crunch among the municipal level, local government employment rose by almost 100,000. Now, this is a good one. The total of those on furlough also fell dramatically. There were 24.2 million people who said they are not working because their employer either closed or lost business due to the pandemic, down from 31.3 million in July. All right, so all those numbers, those coming out at 8:30, the market, liking what they're seeing as we're now up a few points. NASDAQ, though, jumping over to the NASDAQ, a little bit of a different story. You can see pretty close to the lows we had last night of 11,582. No real pop on the non-farm payroll numbers, trading 11,681 right now. You see the volatility on that number. Yeah, we were as low as 11,620 with the NASDAQ taking it on the chin a bit. Apple shares trading from 138 overnight. We were down at 116. We're trading right now at 118. Pretty interesting when you break into how things really shake out for how big a company like Apple is. Excuse me. So the slide that Apple had yesterday, right? We closed Wednesday trading at 131 and change, maybe somewhere around there. We closed yesterday at maybe 121. So you lost about $10. You lost about, 6% maybe in Apple. for the course of the trading day. Now, that represented a $180 billion stock market value Thursday in terms of the market capitalization that Apple lost. Largest one-day loss for a U.S.-listed company on record. Now, here's the kicker. Apple lost more in market cap yesterday than the total individual market caps of 470 of the companies in the S&P 500. And with that loss, Apple is still a $2 trillion company. Remarkable statistics in there, folks. That means that if any of 470 companies had a day like Apple did yesterday, they would cease to exist. All right? I mean, it's always talked about the big dogs running this market. That's a statistic that you should wake up to. The market might live and die on the companies like Apple, Microsoft, Facebook, Google, Tesla, the likes. Let's check in on Tesla as we speak. Tesla to a low of 380 overnight. We're trading right at about 398 this morning. Checking around some of the other FANG stocks this morning. Amazon shares 33.32, closed yesterday a little bit higher at 33.68. You see a little bit of an acceleration towards the close yesterday on Amazon. Microsoft had a tough day yesterday as well, from about 230 on the open to almost 213. We're currently trading at 215 on Microsoft. Google as well. The news out as well that the federal government might be filing an antitrust claim on Google. Those headlines ripping around yesterday. So on top of the market selling off, you have Google going from about 1730 down to a low of 1615. This morning, we're a little bit lower on Google as well. All right, we talked about the companies with earnings. Jumping over to the headlines. First, you had DocuSign out with their numbers. So they're looking, one of the things that caught my eye, this headline, they're going to have video notary services and expects 45 states could allow remote notaries by early next year. It would make sense, folks. I was saying it yesterday. There's no reason in today's day and age that you need to sign anything in person, even a notary, right? You got video conferencing, whatever it's going to entail, you can get it done online. DocuSign easily topped their expectations. We'll jump over to their chart again in a moment. Billing increased 60% in the first half of the fiscal year, and the midpoint of its outlook calls for about 40% growth in the second half of the year. It would make sense, growing in dramatic fashion. DocuSign, there's their action, actually trading lower. A lot of positive already priced into these equities, folks. We're trading at 233 right now for where we are on the chart. There we are at 233. We just ran from $75. This is one of the companies that really never had a huge pullback. The market pretty much realized instantly that you go from 92, you make it down to about 70, but DocuSign was a company that was going to fare well in this pandemic world, and the market realized it quicker than they did for most. Broadcom, we're trading at 354, so you can see that we're basically almost flat. And again, we go from 320 pre-COVID down to 155. You make it to a little bit of a frothy high, maybe at 378. And this morning, we're almost unchanged, a bit positive. And check out these markets, folks. They're liking that jobless claim number. 8.4% unemployment rate. That's a good number. That is a good number. I'm waiting for the breakdown. I'd like to see exactly how everything gets to that. But nonetheless, the S&Ps, in terms of how you add an expected 1.37 million jobs, yet the unemployment rate is somehow surprisingly 8.4 when you were looking for maybe 9.8, 10%. So the market liking that you're at an 8.4 unemployment rate. And there's your S&P, folks. We're up basically 20 points from where we were this morning. NASDAQ now only 74 points in the red, jumping over. We were as low as almost 11,620. So you just added 100 points like that in the NASDAQ. The Dow up almost 200 points. You see the sell-off in the Dow. But, folks, we're 500 points off the lows that we had towards the end of yesterday in the Dow right now, and the Russell catching it as well. Up a solid 1.3% on the Russell. Russell really been a tough index. You put this on some context. I mean, not even back to the 1705 price point pre-COVID. You were down to 948, but we're still down 8% maybe off the highs that we had in February. All right, what else we got going on? Jumping around to equities with action. Where are we? Stocks making moves. There we go. All right, so we covered Broadcom and DocuSign. Tesla remains on watch after falling for 3 straight days and losing more than 18%. That's on the heels that they're going to announce that $5 billion stock offering. We pulled up Tesla off a bit this morning, made a low of 380 overnight. Goldman Sachs, it's nice to have billions of dollars to pay off governments, folks, when you get caught doing illegal things. Malaysia dropping the criminal charges against 3 of the investment bank's units after Goldman agreed last month to pay almost $4 billion settlement in the case. Grubhub, looks like their deal is going to get approval. The Netherlands-based food delivery firm Just Eat Takeaway said it received all necessary regulatory approvals for its $7.3 billion deal to take over Grubhub. Smith & Wesson out with their numbers. They earned 97 cents a share, more than double the 48 cents. Revenue above forecast. Company said it saw record revenue and unit sales during the quarter. So the gun maker SWBI, no real reaction on some strong numbers, though. I mean, yeah, reaction, but check this out, folks. I mean, pretty muted, right? From blowing it away in terms of just what I read you, doubling the earnings, beating on revenue. You go from 1880 to about 1955 on their numbers. Lululemon. They get a downgrade from neutral to buy, to neutral, from buy, raise. So what's going on here? We'll cover it. They raised their forecast while pushing it to a neutral from a buy. Either way, Lululemon, we'll check it out after the break, folks. Another couple upgrades and downgrades. We'll go over it all. Stay right there. We'll be right back.
Back in the day, I joined Hotel California in 2006, and like many of you, was drawn in by, as well as...
Whatever you think about, you bring about. Whatever you focus on grows.
You see, I believe that everything in life happens for us, not to us. And Tom ignited the fire within me to want to learn how to master the markets. So how did I go from knowing nothing about technical analysis to becoming the #1 market timer for the S&P 500 in 2018 and the #2 market timer in 2019? Simply put, I hired coaches with a proven track record, which led me to a whole new set of tools that I created to interpret the message of buyers and sellers. I would love the opportunity to teach you this award-winning set of tools and to help you improve your market timing. You can test drive my newsletter service, Mastering Probabilities, for the next 30 days with no risk to you. Plus, you'll gain access to archive workshops that'll take you step by step through my system. Sign up today by going to the homepage of TFNN.com and selecting Mastering Probability in the newsletter tab.
Bam!
If you haven't checked out the newsletters page of TFNN.com, what are you waiting for? All of the TFNN newsletters are informative, up-to-date, affordable, and a must-have for every trader looking to gain a competitive informational edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets to offer you the very latest in market news. Plus, new subscribers get to test drive our newsletters risk-free for 30 days. From all aspects of the markets, including stocks, bonds, metals, commodities, and tech, there's a newsletter to fit your needs exclusively from TFNN. Stay informed each day you trade and get that competitive edge that will help you stay ahead of the game. Visit our newsletters page by going to TFNN.com and click the newsletters button near the top of the page. TFNN.com, educating investors.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They've been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
Welcome back, folks. We got a chart of Lulu up there, putting it on 15 minutes. So they go to downgrade and a price target upgrade. Not sure how that works at Citi, but we'll pull it up. That's the deal. So they downgraded Lulu to neutral from buy, but raised their price target to 400. So they had a buy rating with a $340 target, and now they have a neutral rating with a $400 target. Walk me through that one. I'm not sure of it. Either way, you have Lulu at $377 yesterday. We're off a bit at $373 now. Michaels, a couple upgrades, downgrades. Getting an upgrade today from $9.70. Their shares go to about $10.20. Credit Suisse upgrading them to outperform from neutral, saying the pullback in the stock provides buying opportunity. Michael's exhibiting strong demand trends and improved profit margins. Wayfair, this one I just don't understand, folks. I mean, talk about, they're almost a 10-bagger. And Bank of America's saying maybe they're neutral from a buy. Both expectations and valuation are high when compared to Wayfair's history. W is their symbol. You see it trading a bit lower from $275 to $265 this morning, but that's a drop in the bucket when you just went from $21 up to $350. Watch out for those types of stocks, folks. Head on over to the front page of TFNN, folks. You'll see our man Basil Chapman. He's got a live webinar going on a week from next Wednesday, September 16th. All day. He'll be in there a half hour before the market begins, 9 a.m., 9 till 12. Take a lunch break, 1 till 4. Follow it up with a review and prepare session after the market closes from 4 till 4:30. Anyone who signs up gets a month of Basil's daily newsletter, The Opening Call. Basil's got great updates that go out over the weekend. I encourage you to sign up. You'll get access to the newsletter for a couple weeks. Before the webinar, you'll have access to it as well for a full month. So after the webinar, great deal, $395. Check that out on the front page. And my newsletter as well, Rocket Equities and Options. I always got a report out there on Mondays, as well as equity trades, option trades, and a long-term portfolio. All of that comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee for Rocket Equities and Options. All right, folks, we got our man Larry Pesavento coming up next, and we got the S&Ps now positive by 3, Dow positive by 144, unemployment rate 8.4% this morning. Stay tuned, folks. Larry, he's coming up next. We'll be right back.